Okay guys, welcome back. Just start my timer there. This is probably the second part of the injury system explanation. It seems quite complex and I don't know how it's going to come across, but I've kind of explained it roughly how it is. The last video there we finished off with the attribute bonuses. Now we're going to set up a major injury setup. So we go ultra precision. So it's going to be quick to change. You're not changing too much. You're only changing a couple of things here to get into a major injury. So there we go. Oh God, 62. Shotmaker and Houdini take off another 3 off the set that I originally had. So I'm actually quite happy with that. I'll probably stick with that. So we're only at 62 power, or strength as they call it. Now this is where we go to the in the bag setting, and this is where we change the first 2 clubs. Now my standard setup is I think 3 iron through to, is it a 9 iron pitching wedge, and then I've got my wedge, which is a 50, 56 and a 64, and obviously putter on the ball. So that would have been either a 2 wood or a 3 wood, a carry, and that one would have been my driver. So what we do is we take the driver and the 3 wood out the bag, and for a major injury I've actually set up this, which is going to be the 4 hybrid and a 6 hybrid. So I think the 4 hybrid gives us about 220 yards off the tee, which is not really far, and it's quite lame, but that's what we want, and that's basically what we changed. Now for a medium injury we go for a 3 hybrid and a 2 iron, and a minor injury, excuse me, is a 5 wood and a 2 iron. So that's the basic settings for the clubs. Let's have a drink. So basically we're not hitting it as far off the tee, and our actual range for par 4s and par 5s is limited, and that's really what we're aiming for. And I've kind of wrote down, for a major injury, not to reach a par 5 ever. Never reach a par 5 with these settings. And a par 4 we should be hitting in a long iron, like basically should be hitting in either the hybrids, or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 iron, or even a 6 at a push. For a medium injury, same again, par 5s should not be reachable, but we'll be getting closer to reaching par 5s, but we shouldn't reach them. And also again, we should be hitting in maybe 4 iron, 5, 6 iron approach to a par 4. And then for the medium injury, again, par 5s, we'll be getting closer to reaching par 5s, but we shouldn't still be able to reach a par 5. Par 4s we should be hitting in like maybe a 7, 8 iron, maybe a 6, 7 or 8 iron average. To the kind of longer par 4s we should be hitting in longer or medium irons. And basically that means it's going to be harder to hit the green, it's going to be harder to get it close, because you're coming in with a longer iron. There's going to be more roll, not as much backspin. So it's going to make the round a lot more challenging. So that's the club setups for the injury system. This is a major injury setup we've got. Obviously we'll go back to our attribute bonuses, 62 there. So let's play a few holes and just see how it goes. I'll come out of my Tour Pro mode. We'll go to play now. We'll just go with Chambers Bay for instance. Maybe not the best. Yeah, we'll stick with Chambers Bay. So basically, this is us. We've picked up an injury, right? So we missed the Fairways and Greens count by quite a considerable margin, and we've incurred a major injury. So this would probably be like the second round we'd be playing in a tournament. So we're not going to be hitting as long off the tee, and subsequently we're going to be hitting longer shots to most greens. So here we go. Let's just see how it feels in a kind of general setup. So here we go. Now, 4 hybrid, 223 yards. Now the big thing with this, the wind settings could play a big part, because if it's windy, if it's like a 10 mile an hour wind, 12, something like that, and that's in your face, then that 223 yards is going to become probably something like 200 yards. It could get really, really, really tricky. But then if the wind's against, it's going to be behind you for some holes, so it's going to help you. So there we go, tee shot. Now you'd usually be hitting a driver, would be way up there, you know, probably around about, I'd say in this hole you could hit maybe 320, 330 yards off the tee for a driver. There you go, we've only hit it with 230 yards.
The second shot.
And that's it. We're actually hitting maximum club here, and we've got 272 yards to the green. So we're actually not even able to reach the green. Although we're actually going to be close. We probably could have hit that green, to be honest. But this is what it's all about. It's a major injury. We're going to be really impeded, and we're not going to be able to play the kind of game, attacking game, that we should be playing.
How would you break down this approach shot here at the first?
So here we go, we've probably just put a bit of loft on this just to take a bit off it.
So you've really got to fixate on the exact point.
Again, we're not really worrying about scoring here, we're just kind of, we're just showing that it's going to be more difficult. This is us pitching a putt for par. So you can see where a round could go quite wrong, basically. So that's a par. So we struggled there. We could actually hit that green. We just missed it off to the left. So here we go again. This is a 400-yard hole, so we're going to be. This is probably going to be a wee bit easier, because this hole's not as long. Again, we've got the 4 hybrid off the tee. Now a driver would be right up at that thin part, way up by that bunker. So you can see here we're a lot shorter, but this is a short par 4, so again 164 yards, 8 iron. We'd be hitting in a wedge here.
How difficult it can be. You look left or right, game becomes much harder.
So again, these I've not trialled it yet. We'll find out. We might tweak club settings. So instead of having a 4 hybrid and a 6 hybrid, if the major injury settings way too severe, we can always come down to a 2 hybrid and a 4 hybrid, or a 3 or a 5, or just mix it up. Just trial it, see what's going to work, what's not going to work. But I want the major injury to be basically just difficult, really. Oh, that's a poor putt, but that's a putt for birdie.
He'd settle for par here.
So we can play well, but it's just going to be a lot more difficult. As I say, the wind could really be the difference between pulling your hair out and maybe actually playing under par. Time we are 8 minutes.
At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so very
so
cautious
what
on
we've
where
got
the
here,
flag
the
is.
wind's a little bit
Anything in
there.
the middle of the green, you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
A bit to the right. It's just slightly long as well. And that's going to be in the green. So that would count as a fairway and green hit, or a green hit. So you'd chalk that up on your board.
For birdie, but really, it's a rather poor approach shot.
God, look at this
Frank, I'm
putt.
not saying he should pull out driver here.
So basically, that's the whole plan of the injury system. I did call it a penalty system, but I prefer an injury system, to be honest. Just to simulate picking up injuries and not being at full health. Oh, that's a bit of a poor putt. That's off the green. Oh dear. Again, I'm not bothered about scoring here, so I wouldn't. It is what it is. Maybe go over there. Bingo. There you go.
Can you believe that?
That's how you do it. Was that another par? Yeah, there we go.
Amazing shot, and really deserves it.
So we'll probably play this hole now. Again, we'll be way up at that ridge up there. So we're actually maybe going to have to play the hole slightly different. You know, instead of playing the normal, or we try to drive up here 330 yards and then we hit. You've actually got to maybe place your tee shots different because you're hitting it to a different part of the. Now look here, we've got par 4, 251 yards. We're not going to make this. We're not going to make it, so we're going to have to lay up basically. Is it too severe? Perhaps. But then she really played down that. It's going to roll flat. I don't know if it's too severe. I mean, that's what you want.
Just the lie there too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
You picked up a major injury, you're not hitting at full power, you know, you're probably not going to hit.
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah,
so a lot of the longer par 4s, I want to struggle basically.
At the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It's
Here we go, just pitch this up.
So that's the goal right here.
Bite! So we go, that's a birdie chance there. We're now going to be putting for par. And this is what I mean, this is where your sort of up and down game's got to be really good. If you've picked up this injury, you're going to have to be on the ball. It's a difficult putt. So there we go. That's our first bogey of the day. So it's going to put a lot more pressure on your approach play. Because you're going to have to hit in, you know, from 50, 60 yards, say. If you've missed a par 4, you can't get the par 4 in 2. You know, your short games have to be really good. You have to put it in close to avoid getting bogeys.
I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure.
And that's basically a major injury setup. You know, we don't want to be hitting long. Here's another hole, 481 yards. Now we've hit that because this tee's elevated. There you go, we've hit that pretty decent. And we're going to be hitting 190 into this green here. So let's have a wee set up here, 7 foot up. We'll just go with that. Again, you know, we're hitting in a long iron to a green, and that's the whole point of the injury system. And we go. God, we're actually off the green.
Right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Oh, stop, sit. We're actually off the green again. Oh God, that's bad. Right, so that's basically a video on the major injury. We'll probably do the next one. We'll do a minor injury. In fact, we'll just do full. We'll do a minor injury. So that concludes that video, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.